Alright, boys and girls, so today on My Favorite Things, I am going to show you my no-bake 15-minute protein bars. So I've got all of my dry ingredients mixed up in the bowl, all ready to go. Here's our ingredients. You're going to go with your favorite protein powder, whatever flavor that is, 5 scoops of that. You're going to go with a third of a cup of sweetener and a third of a cup of coconut flour. Then 2 tablespoons of Nestle's mini Toll House morsels, and 1/3 of a cup of almond milk. And then for a little bit of added goodness, go with a teaspoon of your imitation flavor extract. And then this is optional, but it makes it a little bit sweeter if you put in a teaspoon of Stevia extract. So it's not, I mean, it's really pretty easy to remember. It's a third, a third, a third, 2 tablespoons, teaspoon, 5 scoops. And then you're also going to need a couple of sizes about yay big of parchment paper. So I've mixed up all of my dry goods in here, and we're pretty much ready to go to start making our dough. So I like to go ahead and make my own protein bars, simply because it's a fraction of the cost of protein bars that are store-bought. I'm a tightwad, plus I got a family to support, and I can't stand the thought of spending $3, $4, sometimes even as much as $5 for a flippin' protein bar, when I can make up 4 of them here for essentially a fraction of that cost. So you need a nice, great big bowl. I'll show you why here in a second. So we're going to start to mix up our dough here, and the big heavy spoon is essentially only going to get you so far. Get it started, and you're going to end up with a consistency that is about like Play-Doh. And you can see we're pretty much far from that right now. So eventually what you have to do is you just have to kind of suck it up, and it's time to get your hands dirty. Start just kneading the whole batch, and it's just kind of going to start out kind of like gooey sand almost, and just keep kneading it until you get your whole batch all mixed up into a ball of dough that looks kind of like Play-Doh. And there's still, sometimes it's kind of dry on the outside, but you can break it apart, get some moisture out of the inside, and pretty soon you just start picking up every little bit of dry goods that are in the bowl. So, usually that batch makes a big 350 gram ball of dough. So you can split it in half, and you're going to get a good sized 175 gram protein bar. So I like to weigh it out. Now, parchment paper is a very handy thing to have with this. It also works with foil or something like that, but it seems like it doesn't stick so bad. So this is basically half the batch here, and we're going to go ahead and just try to pick up every little bit of our protein and our powder that's in the bowl. And now we're ready to start forming our bar. So the whole batch is 860 calories. So you can imagine this is half of the batch. This is going to be 430 calories. So in this one bar, we're going to have 65 grams of protein, 21 carbs, and 8 fat. And so you just kind of start to, it's basically the consistency of Play-Doh. You start to form up your bar there, and then this is where your parchment paper comes in really handy. Just get your bar, start to form up there, roll it up in your parchment paper, and then just start to smash it out and just work it into the shape that you want your protein bar to be in. Okay, so you've got your bar there. You can see again, that's a good sized bar, so you can easily cut that in half. And now, if you cut that in half, you've got a quarter of the batch, which is going to be 32 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbs, and 4 grams of fat. But usually, I mean, at this point, you could eat it right now if you wanted to. But usually, I like to go ahead and just chill it in either the freezer for 15 minutes, or else go ahead and just, I mean, throw it in the fridge and you just make a big batch of them up, and it's ready for the next day. So, yeah, there's my homemade and no-bake protein bar recipe. Again, the whole batch is 860 calories, 129 grams of protein, 42 grams of carbs, 16 grams of fat. We've got 1/2 of the batch here in this bar, 65 protein, 21 carbs, 8 fat for 430 calories. And again, you can just cut that bar in half if you wanted to, and then you've got basically a quarter of that batch. So I went ahead and made up a batch ahead of time, and to just show you guys what that looks like, the prior batch was a chocolate batch, and I cut that bar in half. So you can see, again, that's a good sized bar. That's about a 70-gram bar, and the other half went to my camera holder, my tripod. Xander, how was that chocolate protein bar?
It was pretty good. It's a little bit better than the vanilla, but they're both pretty good, I think. The chocolate is a little bit more flavorful, but the vanilla is still good.
So there you go. A 13-year-old will eat it. So again, guys, thanks for watching this episode of My Favorite Things, and thank you for the support of our 3D Muscle Journey channel.